Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make an easy chicken and sausage gumbo. At this point of the video, I've already put my whole chicken in my Instapot with 6 cups of water. Now I'm going to be chopping up my onion for the gumbo and also my green bell pepper and the smoked Cajun sausage. Now I'm going to be taking my butter, or you can use olive oil here or any type of fat that you want, but I like to use butter, about 2 tablespoons, and I'm going to be putting that into my pot in order to saute my bell pepper and my onion until they become translucent. I'm just going to stir it and show you that I'm just trying to let it melt a little bit before I add in the vegetables. I actually do this part a little bit out of order. You're supposed to put in the sausage in first and let it brown and let some of that fat render from the sausage. Let that get some color. And then take the sausage out and cook and saute those vegetables in that fat that came out from the sausage. And you can add a little bit of butter to that. So later on in this video, I am going to actually take the vegetables out, put the sausage in like I was supposed to do first, and fix or remedy my mistake there. So now I'm going to take the vegetables out of the pot, because as I said earlier, I should have done the sausage first. And I'm going to put the sausage in, let it get some color, and let some of that fat render down. And then I'm going to take that sausage out, and I'm going to put my bell pepper and my onion back in to actually let it cook in the fat from the sausage, and then let it get translucent. I want to actually show you some of the color that you're looking for in your sausage, those little brown bits. That is what's going to develop that amazing flavor in your gumbo. Every single element, every component that we're putting in this gumbo, we want to develop flavor of each individual component. So now I'm going to take that sausage out because I've got the color that I wanted on it. And I'm going to put in the bell pepper and onion back into the pot in order to let it finish cooking and get translucent. So now it's time to season that. I'm using Zatarain's Pure Ground Gumbo Filet. It is a great spice. If you're not able to find that in your local grocery store, I have provided a link at the bottom of my blog, and it's the perfect place to get it. But I'm putting in the garlic powder, and now I'm going to add that gumbo filet for depth of flavor. I'm just going to get ready to remove those vegetables, that bell pepper and onion that have been cooked down in a little bit of butter, and the fat that was rendered off of the sausage, and get ready to move on to the next step. Now it's time to take our okra. Honestly, I prefer to have it fresh, but this is actually freshly frozen. My dad brought me some okra from his garden, and I sliced it up very thinly and put it in Ziploc bags in my freezer. So I just took it out. It's still frozen. I am just going to try to break that up with my hands and get it into the pot. And I'm going to be browning this okra, getting some color on it. This is the okra that's going inside the gumbo. And if you cook it and you get some color on it, it not only develops flavor, but it also gets rid of the sliminess, the texture of slime that gumbo often has whenever you put it in soups and stews. So this is a little trick to remedy that. If you want to put okra in your gumbo, but you have people who do not like the way that it changes the mouthfeel of your gumbo, the texture and the slime, then you just cook it and get some color on it, just like we did with our sausage, and that will take away that sliminess from the okra. Now I'm going to be getting that other bag of frozen okra ready to fry in cornmeal. That okra will be going on top as a garnish with the finished bowls of gumbo. My chicken is done in my Instapot, and I also put Weiler's chicken powder in there. At the beginning of the video, I told you I had 6 cups of water, and I also added my Weiler's chicken powder while the chicken cooked in the Instapot. I am just removing the cooked chicken into a bowl so that I can pick the meat from the bones in order to add to the gumbo later. Now that my okra has the color that I want it to have, I'm going to proceed to my next step. I'm just going to take it out of the pot and let it rest on the cutting board beside my sausage. Now we're going to start the process of the roux, which is simply just taking the equal parts of fat and flour. Here I have butter, and I'm adding an equal part of flour to that. And I'm going to be cooking this down and staying right here with it, stirring it constantly until it gets to the consistency and the color that I want, which is going to be this really, really deep brown. It will look almost like chocolate when it is perfect. Now that I have it the color and consistency that I want, I'm going to add in my water and start stirring that up. Next, I'm going to add my chicken stock. I brought that to a boil, making sure that, of course, it didn't boil over. And now I'm going to add back in my sauteed okra, my bell pepper, my onion, and my sausage. After I added my vegetables, I let it come up to a small boil, and then it was time to add my chicken that I had picked off the bone. Now it's time to add even more layers of flavor. I'm going to be doing that with my bay leaves and my Tony's seasoning. In the South, especially in Louisiana, every single person, every home has a bottle of this seasoning. If you can't get this in your local grocery store, I have provided a link at the bottom of my blog post, the bottom of my recipe page, so that you can buy it on Amazon. It really is great, and there's nothing quite like Tony's. It wouldn't be gumbo if we weren't going to add some sort of spice. A lot of people use cayenne pepper, but I love to add my favorite hot sauce, which just so happens to be Louisiana hot sauce. It is the best in gumbo. This next ingredient is definitely debatable, but I have always added diced tomatoes to my gumbo, and I just think it gives it a really great flavor. You can actually add the bay leaf back when we added the Tony's, but I usually add it whenever I bring the whole pot to a boil. I let the gumbo boil for about 20 minutes, making sure that I stir so that nothing sticks. Then I'll reduce the heat to a medium-low so that it can reduce even more for about 20 more minutes. Tasting your gumbo after it's reduced is a must, and then you can see if you need to add any more ingredients or if it's just right and ready to serve. That is how you make the perfect gumbo topped with crispy cornmeal fried okra.